Now, Victorians will learn on Sunday what rules Premier Daniel Andrews will loosen to help people and perhaps help some businesses reopen. Meanwhile, in the lead-up to the federal budget, the Treasurer Josh Frydenberg has delivered a major reform today aimed at helping a post-COVID recovery. New bankruptcy laws will be similar to the American Chapter 11 system, a reform many people have pushed for in this country for many years. Small businesses will be given the ability to trade their way out of insolvency rather than surrender to administrators.
This will enable small business owners to remain in control, provide them with an opportunity to restructure and ultimately increase the chances of them surviving this COVID-19 crisis.
OK, so we'll see whether or not that's going to provide enough help for Australian businesses. Let's catch up with the leader of Small Business Australia, Bill Lang, who joins us from Melbourne. Thanks for joining us, Bill. First up, your reaction to these bankruptcy changes. A lot of people have pushed for this for many, many years. It helps small business trade out of difficulty rather than surrender.
Look, it's a 3 out of 10 from the Small Business Australia point of view. It's a good start. Some of the things we've been asking for are finally starting to happen. But one of the things, Chris, that many of your viewers would know is that, basically 6 out of 10 small businesses are not in a company structure. So these changes do not apply to them whatsoever. That's about 1.2 million small businesses. The other thing that we're not hearing anything about is, well, if you have to go at the moment legally bankrupt, even under the new system, become a legal bankrupt, what does that mean for your credit rating, your ability to borrow money, your ability to get another business started? We still need what we're calling the COVID business closure. You've been put out of business through no fault of your own. You should be able to get restarted again without being called a legal bankrupt.
It's not a bad point because this is government policy in response to a pandemic that's put people out of business. And as you say, it's no fault of their own. You can't say that they've managed their businesses poorly.
Look, that's right. So we've been starved of customers and a whole range of other things and a lack of confidence where you can actually have some customers. And look, we need the Treasurer. We need the guys to some degree, they're in the Canberra COVID bubble in terms of the implications. Don't forget the sole traders, the businesses that have partnerships, those that have got family trusts set up. This stuff doesn't cover any of that. And some of what we've seen in the headlines today about this announcement, so small business is going to be saved, but small business isn't. 38% of businesses are potentially going to be eligible under this, but 100%, if they end up being legally bankrupt, are legally bankrupt unless we get that change.
Yeah, and that's a cost-free change, I would have thought. We'll try and take that one up with the Treasurer when we get a chance. Meanwhile, you've got the Premier of Victoria saying that he's going to fast-track some of his roadmap out of lockdown on Sunday. He's tried to lower expectations. What do you need? What should be top of his list to try and give some businesses a fighting chance in Victoria?
Well, look, the theme we've got is about being open now. Let's be open. Let's not use words like transparent, but let's be open and understand how does our tracking and tracing capability actually work? Looking at what Service New South Wales, the gold standard, QR codes given to every business, automatically scanning so you know where you've been. People can find you if they need to track you and trace you. I think there's still paper and pens going on down here. So they actually show us, not actually tell us that they're getting better and doing X, Y, and Z. They actually need to show us because most small business owners don't trust anything that they're saying. We're seeing what's going on in the judicial inquiry. It seems like a whole bunch of people, a bit like Sergeant Schultz and the old Hogan heroes. They saw nothing. They can't remember anything. They did nothing. They all report to Colonel Clink. Remember in that TV show, Hogan Heroes, it was all the prisoners of war that were the heroes, and that's the Victorians down here that are hanging in there, particularly the small businesses that want to be able to open up, see their customers and give themselves a chance of being able to stay in business.
Yeah, well, of course they've got to get contact tracing and all that done right, and for crying out loud, they've got to actually say who made these decisions. But what business restrictions do you need eased on Sunday? Should they be allowing bars and restaurants to open under COVID conditions immediately?
Absolutely, they should be. So again, to many respects, many Victorians have been conned by this and, they've become convicts. A COVID-safe plan, just the way New South Wales does it. You can get it all organised online. You can be approved by the government instantly. You can be given some simple free technology that lets you do proper tracking of who's coming in to your business and when they're leaving so they can be quickly contacted if, in fact, anybody might be found to be positive.
I just don't understand why they haven't moved quickly down that path. We're all doing it in New South Wales. We're used to it. You turn up at a bar or a restaurant, a club I went to the other day, you've got to hand over your details. You can usually do it on an app on their phone. But of course, you have a record and we have our social distancing. Victoria's got to do that. they'll say it's too soon to move in that direction.
Oh, look, well, and at the moment, it would appear no one can remove the Premier. They're all in it together. They're all on the good ship together in terms of wherever their sailing is. We want to be open. We want to get to see our customers again. That's the number one way of potentially saving businesses. Not to mention significant announcements about, money being made available. The $3 billion the last time you and I actually talked. So many businesses still actually aren't able to apply for it. If they can apply for it, they're not too sure how they apply for it. So again, announcements. As every day goes on, when you can't see your customer and can't get some cash flow in, your own personal savings are going down. You may be getting into more debt. You may be keeping going just to keep some JobKeeper going. The real risks that are getting borne down here in terms of this lockdown are getting actually borne by small business owners and by the young people that are going to be out of work potentially for months, if not years.
Shocking situation. Thanks for joining us again, Bill. I appreciate it. Bill Lang there from Small Business Australia.